We're in Old Town this morning. It's raining, so we won't stay out here very long, but we're at a really unusual house right across from the Moody Bible Institute. Dr. Tom Tremback is the man who converted it from really sort of a rundown old eyesore, right?
Exactly correct. I bought the house, which was built in 1891. In 1991, was 5 apartments at the time, was a real mess. And my goal was to try and reconvert it back to its original state.
So it has a new facade of stucco over brick, drive it over brick, right?
Correct.
And inside it's really all new. There are a few old walls we saw.
Correct. The rear is pretty much maintained. The footprint of the building has been built out in the rear a little bit, but otherwise, other than the outside and structural integrities, the entire inside is brand new. So come on in and see what we've done with the inside.
Wow. Well, one of the things you've done is create a, what is this, how high is this?
We're standing at about 24 feet height.
Wow.
Intention was to give a grand entrance, an open feel to a house which historically would have been a series of small rooms.
Yeah, I think you told, didn't you say that there were something like 21 people living just on this first floor when you bought it?
In half of the first floor.
Of the first floor.
The first floor used to be 2 apartments, and it was well inhabited, but we've opened it up. Made it a great place for entertaining.
You really opened it up here. I love these windows that look west.
Correct.
You pointed out get an awful lot of sun because the Bible Institute is low, right? So you're always going to get light in.
The benefit of being on LaSalle Street with the extra width of the street and my neighbors across the way, I'm flooded with sunlight all afternoon.
That's great. And we'll see it in the back. We don't see any sun today, but we'll see in the back that you also get it from the east because you've got a low parking garage back behind you.
Correct.
So you've got sun coming in from both sides.
Sun comes in from the front, from the back, and on the 3rd floor from above.
Before we go up, we should mention while we're here, this is living on this floor, dining and kitchen are up one, right?
And then bedroom on the 3rd floor.
And what connects them is this amazing staircase.
So come on up to the dining room.
Now, what I like about this dining room is it's very full. We've got the beams, we have this wrought iron surround that I mentioned below. We've got the light from LaSalle Street coming in, the light from the west
Correct.
coming in. But it also, this is, what I think is funny is you refer to this as the dining room loft, and that sort of fits in with the history of the house.
When I originally intended to do the gut rehab on the building, I wasn't to be an open loft, exposed brick, exposed ductwork concept. Once I saw the original bones of the building, though, I knew it had to get back to its original character.
Yeah, and it's got a lot of this molding and things. It has these nice details you've put in essentially as reminders of what had been here.
Of what had been in the past.
You couldn't
correct.
salvage what we had to sort of rebuild?
It was all redone, but it was modeled after what had been here previously.
And then this, I think, is a great place to point out one of the main things you did. It was a T-shaped building, wide in the front, right, and narrower
Correct.
in the back. So what we're looking at right here, this brick arch, frames what would have been outdoor space. On the left is a new wall built. On the right, this rougher brick is the old wall. So you've created passageways on both, what would that be, the north and south sides of the house where
Correct.
there were light wells.
So it serves for circulation space and gives me a reminder of the initial intent that I had for the loft feel that was so popular when I started in the 90s.
And it really gave you a lot of flexibility with planning the space to have all that extra.
Right.
And one thing we ought to mention, not only for catering but for living, is you have an elevator.
Correct.
We're on the 2nd floor for the kitchen, but it's not that big a problem.
And with the grocery cart, you bring your packages and your cruise in on the elevator.
And you're set.
No trouble at all.
Love this kitchen. I don't know if it's a perfect square, but it feels like a square.
It feels pretty square. You're correct.
Nice.
It was done by DiGiulio Kitchens.
It's a DiGiulio kitchen, so no wonder it looks so good.
Small bone of England cabinetry, olive ash, which has a little bit than some of the other woods you might typically see. And the staircase that's behind us and that wraps around this brick old fireplace that was always here is also done in olive ash to sort of tie things together.
And one of these clever things, going back to the catering concept, but also just a clever use of space, you've got storage drawers down here under the hearth, right?
Correct.
We can store big trays for the caterers.
Storage for all your baking trays, storage for utensils needs, anything that you might need. It's a house for parties. And the best part about this kitchen level is there's the ability, I'll let you go out first, to have a little bit of outdoor space.
Oh, yeah.
A little terrace space for your morning coffee.
And for your morning view of the John Hancock.
And for your view of the sun flooding in behind the Hancock.
When there is, the one thing, you mentioned all these trees are new. We're going to look at the garden later. These trees are, what, 30 feet high? And
At least.
You've done all this.
Correct.
So you've
All
created
this
some
was
privacy.
Done to add some seclusion and privacy is right.
Great spot for breakfast. This entire third floor is master now.
That's correct.
This room, I think you said, is what, 20 feet?
27.
Nice big
This
room.
is the master sitting suite, faces west. So late in the afternoon, again, sun floods in.
Right. You've got a fireplace. This is one of, I think,
Working
7?
fireplace. There are 7 total fireplaces in the house. There used to be 10
Down from 10 when it was apartments?
when it was originally built.
Storage closets along the
Also
side?
serves as office, so there's storage, hidden, compartmentalized and lockable,
Well, even this kind of storage I like. You know, you've got the fireplace pulled out.
with a
and then
little
there are
hidden
shelves.
niche.
Yeah, that's terrific.
In particular, when you come up the stairs, that there's always something to look at.
So from there, we were in the office, the front room, the sitting room, this master bath kitchen. And
Correct.
then we come into the,
To the actual master bedroom itself, facing east, great to wake up to the morning sun.
oh yeah.
Again, seeing the view of the city from this level, reminding you how close you are to Michigan Avenue and the treasures that offers us architecturally.
Yeah. But again, we've got this privacy because you've got these big trees that came up. You're set back far enough because of the parking and things behind you. It's sort of a little
Gives
retreat.
you
Yeah.
the sense of some spaciousness is right, some openness, lets the light in without having to look in your neighbor's window.
Right.
Working
room.
fireplace again here in the bedroom.
And a projection TV, right?
For TV,
Comes down
full
here in this
surround
trompe-l'oeil.
sound. Yes.
So you've got the trompe-l'oeil. It's interesting. We see the brick behind and wonder if it too is painted.
And the interesting thing is this window's actually inside the house, and that's an actual exterior window.
Oh,
because of
really?
the slope of the
Oh,
staircase
really? So we're
between
looking
them.
at the interior
So
wall
we're
there, the
actually
new.
inside.
Oh.
Okay. The other great thing about this house is there is ability to circulate back and forth, or front and back. So this is the second staircase from the third floor, which you can take down in the morning in particular because of the fantastic view above.
Yeah, this is amazing. Well, this does things. This, first of all, explains this is the new wall, this is the old, so this would have been a light well you filled.
That's
But
correct.
then you kept it as a light well with the glass.
With the glass above, so it reminds you this used to be outside space.
And then you've got that awesome view of the John Hancock.
Welcoming every morning when you come down for breakfast.
That's very cool. We were in the sort of the two-story section of the living room. Here is where the ceiling comes down and it's a little more intimate.
Correct. And we're going to continue on towards the rear of the living level, where again, there's a further progression of intimacy. If you have smaller parties or smaller group, they tend to gather here in the rear where it's a little less intimidating.
Nice room. Beautiful limestone fireplace.
3 fireplaces in this living room level, 2 up
right.
front
Oh,
and
wow.
the one back here. This one is wood-burning fireplace, allows you to get the sense of the smell and the crackle from the real wood.
Sure. And then, so then brick from the addition
Again,
you made.
reminds us about the light wells that we filled in and the walls that were punched out there. And then my favorite part of the whole house.
Yeah, we've been waiting to get out to the garden, and I just hope the sun has, or the rain has stopped long enough for us to do it. This is terrific.
This is my little hidden treasure.
So what's interesting is the garage, for instance, it's made of old brick. It looks old, but you built that in the last several years.
That's correct. It's all been remade or fabricated from reclaimed brick that was used from the punch-outs that were in the original house that we've just been through.
It's got this sweet little sitting area. You've got the pergola. You mentioned that this is not only decorative, but keeps you from having to
Functional,
shovel, right?
keeps you from getting caught in the rain or having to shovel the snow before you get in the house. Gives you the opportunity to enjoy the koi pond, little trickle of water.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm glad we have only a little trickle of water at this minute. So here we are. We're in this garden. You that. And I go back to 1990 when you were looking for a loft.
That's correct.
This is an amazing difference from what you had in mind.
What I decided in the end was this is still what the house had to be, to try to recreate with the gardens and everything else, a sense of what kind of character was intended when the house went up.
That's terrific.